And U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken arrived in New Delhi to co-chair the 5th India-U.S. 2+2 Ministerial Dialogue. MEA spokesperson Arindam Bagchi has said that Secretary Blinken's visit will give a further boost to India-U.S. comprehensive global strategic partnership.
Back 20 years, and I always marvel at how far we've come. Last night, I was at the Vice President of the United States' Diwali party, and her house was full of Indian Americans who have achieved amazing things in all walks of life around the United States. That was not something I could have even dreamed of when I joined federal service back in 1994. We have come so far, not only the Indian American community in this country, but U.S.-India relations. The fact that we have a 2+2 with India was only a dream when I worked at the embassy in India in 2005, 2006. This is something we do with only our absolutely closest partners in the world. And the fact that amidst these very troubling geostrategic times, the U.S. and Indian foreign and defense ministers are making time to meet with one another is extremely important, because what it says to the world is that the U.S. and India are going to work together to limit these rising zones of instability, to try to work together to tamp down rising geostrategic tensions, and that we will work together as trusted partners to ensure the prosperity and happiness of the Indo-Pacific, of our own two countries, and of the entire world.
And we are telling you about the U.S. Secretary of State's visit in India. The stage is set for the 2+2 Ministerial Dialogue that begins today. And India is looking at it as a further boost to the strategic partnership between the two nations. The delegation will meet with the discussions are expected to encompass a wide spectrum of issues, including strengthening bilateral relations, addressing global concerns, and promoting cooperation in the Indo-Pacific. The U.S. Secretary of State and Defense Secretary Austin will meet with their Indian counterparts, and that's Minister for External Affairs S. Jaishankar and Minister of Defense Rajnath Singh. Joining me on the phone line to give us more of an in-depth analysis of the significance of this meet in a constantly changing world scenario, conflicts in two major regions there. Abhishek, give us a sense of how we should look at this 2+2 Ministerial Dialogue that begins today.
Well, so Secretary of State Antony Blinken arrived around midnight, and now there is a bilateral component. I believe the pictures we are getting are of, we're going to get of the bilateral that's going to take place between External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar and Secretary Blinken, and is going to go on for about an hour. This is taking place at the Hotel Leela Palace, where Secretary Blinken is put up, I believe, this time. And then there would be the 2+2 dialogue, the ministerial dialogue. The reason why the two leaders, Secretary Blinken and Secretary Lloyd Austin, are in New Delhi, and it's an institutionalized mechanism which sort of provides a platform for a very regular dialogue at the topmost levels to do an appraisal of how India and the United States strategic partnership is going. Remember, when the defense ministers meet, when the foreign ministers meet together, so you are having a broad sweep of the security, the geopolitics, the global security situation, and whatever there is in terms of bilateral cooperation going on, and if there are any glitches, if there are any hiccups, if there are any obstructions, those are creased out. So I think it's an important platform that India has, this mechanism with the United States, like with two or three other countries. And the backdrop in which of geopolitical developments in which this meeting is happening today is all the more provides all the more salience to the dialogue that's going to happen. And just to underscore the significance or the importance India attaches to it, look at the pictures yesterday when Secretary Lloyd Austin arrived in the afternoon. He was received by Defense Minister Rajnath Singh personally at the Palam technical area of the Indira Gandhi International Airport. defense minister was accompanied by the chief of defense staff, General Chauhan, and also defense secretary of India. So I think that gives you an idea of the kind of importance India attaches to this dialogue. And we're going to see all the four leaders come together for a photo op and then the dialogue in a bit. But as of now, what we're getting is the bilateral component happening between S. Jaishankar and Antony Blinken. A similar bilateral component, of course, going to be there between Defense Minister Rajnath Singh and Secretary Lloyd as well.
Many thanks, Abhishek, for putting that into perspective. So the 2+2 Ministerial Dialogue agenda. On the agenda will be, of course, ties between the two nations. Meanwhile, as Abhishek just pointed out, today is a day of bilateral meetings. The U.S. Secretary of State and Defense Secretary Austin will meet with their Indian counterparts. That's Minister for External Affairs S. Jaishankar and Minister of Defense Rajnath